Okay guys, welcome back. I wanted to show you a real quick problem that you're going to run into. And I'm going to show you an easy fix. This little space down here in the Beacon Hill dollhouse is almost near impossible to get to. However, if you take a piece of cardstock and you measure it to fit inside there, you'll be able to glue your shingle or your siding to this and then glue this as one piece in here rather than gluing each individual piece. So what I did is I marked my lines like the rest of it. You can see the little notches on the edges of it. And then I'm going to cut my shingles to fit. I don't know why I keep saying shingles. My siding to fit, and then we're going to glue it in there. Alright, hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, so I have one cut already. And now we're going to need to cut the other ones. This one I don't want to lose, so I'm going to set that one over there. However, I do want to measure the next one up. Make sure you're measuring on the one that you have. Okay. Then draw your line. That's the good one. We're going to put an X on this so I don't confuse them, because I did have to cut two in order to get the right measurements. And that's okay as long as you get the right measurements. And you're just going to score it like 3 times, should be plenty. And then it should break off. Okay. And now we're going to go to the next one and measure that up. They should all be pretty close to the same size, but you never know, because this dollhouse has been interesting the entire way. Alright, so we're just going to score that, and one more time. Third time should be good. And then there you go. Okay, so I'm going to continue cutting the shingles for our piece, and then when I'm done, I'll show you how we're going to put it together and put it up there. Okay, so once you have it done, you can either use contact cement or you can use Elmer's glue. The wood glue max is what I use. For this small area, that's what I'm using. For the bigger parts of the dollhouse, I'm going to be using the contact cement. However, I will tell you, once you put the contact cement on, you cannot remove it. So you need to make sure you get it right the first time. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with it where you don't want it, because it will not come off and it will not move. Okay, so I have it cut. Now I'm going to find my line and I'm going to put it on my line exactly where I want it. Now see, with the contact cement, once you put it there, you're not going to be able to move it. Okay. Now the problem with the glue is it makes the shingles bow just a little bit. So once you do a couple, you're going to need to put something heavy on it so that it doesn't warp. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get something heavier than that, maybe a thing of paint, and put on it, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so once you have all of your shingles attached with the either Elmer's glue or contact cement, whichever one you prefer, you're going to let it dry. Once it's dry, then you're going to have to cut out your little notch and across the top, because the top is going to be too long for the space that we need it for. But the only way to get the shingles to match up is by putting it long and then cutting it off, because you have to start from the bottom and work your way to the top. Alright, I'll be right back when it dries. Okay guys, so we're going to cut this out right here, and we're going to just score it across just like that. It should be really easy to do because we're cutting with the grain. It's really simple. Okay, make sure you're holding down on it so that you don't move your shingles, just in case they're not dry. You have to cut all the way through or it's not gonna come up. Oop. See, that shingle wasn't dry. So make sure you're holding on to it. It's okay if that happens, because once you put the glue on it, you're not going to see that little tear. This is just a guide to keep you in line for that space. Okay. All right, and I'll be right back when we're ready to hang it. Okay, so what I did is I had them all on here, and then I put some wood glue on the back. Now the top piece I didn't put on there yet because we're going to do that last. What we're going to do is we're going to slide this down in here. You're going to have to wiggle it down in there real good until you get it in that hole the way you need it to be. Hang on. Okay, so I have it down in there. My siding wasn't completely dry, so it was moving around a little bit on me. Once I have that, then you can kind of use a tool. I'm using a flathead screwdriver to kind of press it down in there. Alright, I'm going to have to glue this piece back on because apparently I didn't have it on there all the way. Very difficult to get in this little small space, in case you haven't noticed. Alright, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it'll be darn close. Alright. Now once you've done that, you need to take your measurement from this piece, and then you're going to have to extend it over. Okay, so what I need to do is take this and mark it. And then cut it. We're going to cut it either with a pair of very sharp titanium scissors or your knife. Okay, and when you do that, you'll glue it right there in place. Okay, and that should be that piece. But if you notice, there's a piece here. So now you need to cut a piece from this point to that point and glue that down first, because you want them to be even. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make this even here. Then I'm going to take my line and I want to make a little line right there. That way I know where to measure. Okay, and actually this piece here looks like it might be just long enough that it'll work. Let me see. Hang on. Okay, so I got that little piece of dried up paint out of there, and now I'm going to glue that piece that I just cut, that's small, right here in this space. It's really hard to get you in there to see exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to get it to where you can see it. I'm not 100% sure that you're going to be able to. But anyway, so then there's that piece. And now I'm going to glue on the other piece. Try not to get too much glue on there because remember, these things warp really easily. It's already wanting to bend and I just now put glue on it. Okay, so that one's wanting to come up. So we're going to push that side down. Then we're going to put this one up here. Alright, so you can either use masking tape and tape this, or you can clamp it to keep it in place until it dries. It's completely up to you. Okay, so this is what it looks like from a close-up view. And by the time we finish the roof and everything, it'll look all really nice. Not sure if you can really see down in there, but this is the difficult spots that's hard to get to. Now you can clamp it, you can glue it, you can do whatever you need to do to keep that there until it dries. Any other tight spots I come up with, I will do the same thing because it seems to be really easy to work with like a template versus trying to put individual pieces in there. And you can follow Dollhouse Miniature Madness and tutorials for more DIY and steps along the way. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.